Okay, we've got some updates from Mikel Arteta around injuries, and Cole Palmer set to miss next week's game between Chelsea and Arsenal, but there are other games before that, I understand, so we're going to talk about all of this in the video. That was a very quick intro. Slow down, James. But there is quite a lot to go into. Arsenal are still in a situation in which there are plenty of players potentially missing for the North London derby, but there is some encouragement from Mikel that some could come back. But as always, as expected, he's being quite cryptic. What do we know about Gabriel in particular? He says that, Gabriel unfortunately picked up an injury with the Brazilian national team and he's going to be out for weeks. We need to have another scan. I think it's next Wednesday and we'll have the timeline probably much more clear than we have at the moment. It's clearly a blow because it's our leader and our back line, and to miss him obviously is never a positive thing. The good thing, as you mentioned, is that we have very good options and people who have to stand up now and do the job. Love the way he's speaking about the others coming in. I mean, that's absolutely true. Everyone else has to now step up and do their part. Interesting that he called him the leader in the back four. And yeah, I think we all kind of know that's the case, but to sort of say it so front on, I think is a real compliment to Gabriel Magalhaes. Tom Canton, so he's tweeted, Arteta on the long-term absentees who are hoping to return soon. The quote from Arteta is, we have put in a lot of energy to bring them back as quick as possible. Tomorrow we will have more clarity. He hints that there is a chance, so that's the end of the quote. He hints that there is a chance that some could be in the squad. Who? That gets interesting. James Benge on Injury News confirms that Gabriel out for weeks, further scans on Wednesday. Calafiori hasn't trained yet and was playing with a little issue before, but there's more optimism about the six who were out before the international break, but he, unsurprisingly, won't say more. Fabrizio Romano has confirmed what Arteta said, and Simon Collins again has said that he hinted, Arteta, that some of Gyökeres, Havertz, Jesus, Madueke, Martinelli and Ødegaard could return on Sunday. Calafiori hasn't trained yet, but there is a session tomorrow. So, a lot of information there to make sense of. Okay, let's start with Gabriel. Concrete, it's weeks. Ornstein and Mockbell said that. I didn't do a reaction because I was hoping for further information. Turns out we're not even going to get that till next Wednesday. So, okay, they're taking their time to understand this. Sorry, let me rephrase. They're not taking their time to understand this injury. They want to understand it as quickly as possible themselves. But you clearly have to take time. They've not just decided, next Wednesday there's a free slot. Gabriel will have all the medical advice needed. And perhaps I was being impatient when I was sort of saying that I wanted more information. We will get that information as and when they can bring it. But it was just frustrating that I was thinking, how can we not know more about it? But clearly it's a situation where they just need to let it heal or pass a little bit before they can do another scan and figure things out. I'm no medical expert. I was feeling a bit impatient about it, but cool. So, on the other players, Gabriel's out. He's not playing the North London derby. We know this. He's not going to play Bayern. He's not going to play Chelsea. It's frustrating. The quote, a few weeks, is actually quite encouraging. I mean, if it is 3 weeks as opposed to a month, 2 months. I mean, a month can be 5 weeks, right? 2.5 months. And the reason I say 2.5 is because Arsenal sometimes that can take a little bit longer, and they sort of say 2 months, and next thing it's in an extra couple of weeks. I don't know. But yeah, I think we just have to wait and see on Gabriel. So Calafiori hasn't trained yet, but there's a session tomorrow. Romano came in quite strong, saying he will be fine for next week. It was more precautionary with the Italy team. Okay, that's good. Let's see if he trains tomorrow. I wonder if we'll get images of him. Arsenal will probably hide all that. I don't even know if we'll get images on a Saturday when there's other Premier League football happening. So, Gyökeres, Havertz, Jesus, Madueke, Martinelli and Ødegaard. Which ones could return? I find this so difficult, because with each individual, Gyökeres, again, he finished the Burnley game. He walked off. I know he was spotted talking to a physio, but, I thought, okay, he'll probably be all right. That doesn't seem like something that should keep him out for... I mean, the Burnley game, let's get this right. Burnley 0-2 Arsenal. If I'm not mistaken, that was nearly a month... Okay, that was 3 weeks ago. So it was the 1st of November. So that was 3 weeks ago. I don't know. I mean, that for what was a minor hamstring injury that they had to assess ahead of Prague and the Sunderland game, I'm surprised if that keeps him out all the way till the North London derby, but it could well do. Kai Havertz, he was a 2 to 3 month injury over 3 months ago. Gabby Jesus is the player that we've seen pictured and training. Madueke, we are now, as of today, 2 months on from that Man City game where he got injured and was supposedly 2 months out. Martinelli's a strange one, played against Palace and then suddenly had a problem and we've not seen him since. And Erdegaard, we know, has had these recurring injuries, but they've just been so unfortunate. They've been physical injuries, they've been contact injuries. So, like, your guess is as good as mine. Genuinely, your guess is as good as mine. I have a feeling, so on Erdegaard, we reported what was said by Charles Wyatt in The Sun. And look, it was only one report. I think Hand of Arsenal said that there's a chance Erdegaard could be back. But I think we can, of all of them, I'm the most confident about Erdegaard. Because, again, of the kind of reports we've had, I don't know, I also sometimes contact injuries, like a clash can, I suppose, again, no medical expert, I could be talking complete nonsense, but it feels like with muscles, you're a little bit more careful because of the springiness and all that. Whereas with contact injuries, maybe once they heal, they're kind of done. If you know, you're not maybe worried. Like, I don't think they're going to be worried about a recurring shoulder and knee problem for Erdegaard in that sense. Does that make any sense at all? Let me know in the comments if I'm talking complete nonsense. I just have a feeling Erdegaard could be back. With Martinelli, because we know so little, part of me thinks, well, we know so little, so how serious could it be? So maybe he's got a chance. And Jesus has been pictured. But then Madueke was the one they were most encouraged by. Like I said on my last video, I think, they were most encouraged about Madueke and his return ahead of Sunderland. So when I say they, I'm timeline, Twitter, ITKs or just rumours, whatever it might be. So look, I'm really torn on this one. Let me know. That's the update from Mikel Arteta. But the positive is that he's hinted that some could make a comeback. Who could they be? We'll find out in 2 days' time. Other injury news for the derby, just worth saying that Kolo Muani trained for Spurs and could play with the Mars versus Arsenal to protect a fractured draw. Frank also reveals that Pape Sarr and Lucas Bergvall are fit and available. Kudus and Gray trained too. Dragusin is very close to being fit enough to be selected, but no Solanke. So that's a lot of players. Archie Gray, good young player. Don't know if he'd start, but Sarr, Bergvall, Bentancur, Palhinha, that's probably the kind of midfield we could see. They got Simmons as well, could play in central midfield. Kudus back to the front line. If Kolo Muani's fit, then he could start, or Richarlison on the left. So Spurs have got quite a few players coming back, so that's positive news. And I think I understand why Arteta hasn't done this, but this is, I think, what I wanted to hear. But I get why we wouldn't want Spurs to know what we're doing, and we don't need to know as fans. I totally understand. We won't want Spurs knowing, oh, okay, these players are back and fit. But I think there would have been something nice about this kind of announcement. Madueke, Jesus, Erdegaard, they're fit, they're available. But, they're playing the game here, and I totally get it. So that's the news on Spurs. I mentioned Cole Palmer. He's out for the Chelsea-Arsenal game in a week's time. So, according to Charles Watts, Cole Palmer was expected to return in time for the Arsenal game next week, but now he will miss out. And that's because Enzo Maresca has revealed that Cole Palmer will miss games against Barcelona, Arsenal and Burnley after fracturing his toe and was a bit of a freak accident at home. So the groin injury he'd basically recovered from and was very, very close, probably going to be fit for Arsenal, but he's now fractured his toe and won't be available for that game as things stand. But there you go. So while we've been complaining about injuries, Spurs have a lot of them, and Chelsea are missing probably their best player for when we face them. So there you go, football, eh? All right, that's all the updates for you. Hope you've enjoyed this video. I don't really ask this enough, but do subscribe to the channel if you haven't and you want to be kept up to date with all the latest Arsenal news. And if you like the video, more people will see it and more people can get in on the conversation and the community here on the Goonerverse. So please do hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't yet. But big thanks. We'll be back with more news as and when we get it. All right, catch you in a bit.